Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The feature race at Del Mar on Friday is for 2-year-olds. Let's take a look at the field for the generous portion stakes. We're going 6 furlongs. This race for Cal-bred or sired fillies. And we have a big field. And the horse on the outside, Mike, figures to take most of the money. That's the number 12, Connie Swingle, coming off a dominant second out win at Del Mar with a big 78 Beyer speed figure.
Yeah, it's a standout figure in this field, Dan. We'll see if she can back that race up. If she does, this field probably can't beat her.
A first-time starter begins our journey, so she won't be involved in the Timeform US pace projector. You would think with all of the speed in this race, there'd be a fast pace, or in the with all the big field with 2-year-olds, there'd be a fast pace, and there is. Sally Stanford, the recent maiden claiming winner, has speed. If Connie Swingle can extricate herself from that tough outside post and work out a 3-wide pressing trip, I think trainer Phil D'Amato would be very pleased.
I agree. It's always, fine, I guess, to be drawn on the outside in these races, but this horse is pretty far on the outside. We'll see what kind of trip she gets. The pace, I suppose it could be fast. If it is, I doubt, Connie Swingle is going to be right up there contesting it, but she should be close.
The number 1, Cause She's a Lady, a daughter of Creative Cause, sold very well as a yearling, $92,000. She's out of a stakes-winning dirt sprinter. Drawing the inside post, though, in a field of 12, kind of puts a lot of pressure on Drayden Van Dyke to break and get position.
Yeah, it really does. It's not a great draw with 11 horses stacked up to her outside. We'll see how good she is and see how ready she is. First time out, has a little bit of pedigree by a good sire. As you mentioned, the dam was an okay dirt sprinter. Her trainer, Mike Pipey, he's, I'd say he has modest numbers with 2-year-old first-time starters. Over the last 5 years, Dad, I got him at 3 for 32 with 2-year-old firsters, the ROI at $1.64.
The number 2, Drizella, has already defeated Connie Swingle. Now, she had more experience than the likely favorite on Friday. That one was making her career debut. Drizella was making her 3rd start. That being said, Drizella ran pretty well, stumbling at the start, rushing up to push the pace, and scoring despite drifting out a little bit in the lane. She made her stakes debut last time out on August the 5th. I liked her in this race at 7-1, and as they turn into the stretch, Drizella has the lead. And Drizella's just going to get a little bit tired at the end, just holds the place to finish ahead of 3 of these common rivals. She has tactical speed, she's in good form, and she goes out for a barn that does very good work with 2-year-olds.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to knock about this horse. We'll see if she can, take a little bit of a step forward here. Then she ran well in this race. She was, out there mostly 3 wide. You saw the winner get through on the rail in the stretch and just outfinished her. I thought she ran fine in that race. We'll see if she can take a step forward. I think she does have to take a step forward to beat this field.
One of the horses she finished ahead of in that race, you saw a fast closing 3rd. That was Medea, and I think it was a nice effort considering it was her first start since May. The connections had really stepped her up in class. She certainly improved second time out. She is still a maiden, however.
Yeah, a maiden again. They're going to run her in a second straight stakes race as a maiden. I thought she was a little interesting last time at a big price day just because she felt like she had a really useful debut before they came back in that race, and she ran fine. I mean, she got a clean trip from off the pace. I just liked the way that she stayed on all the way to the end, and she just kept making up ground. She wasn't finishing fast, but she was really trying to catch those horses in front of her. I thought she ran well last time.
Making her dirt debut is the 4, Stop, Drop, and Roll, who is a debut winner sprinting over the Tapeta surface at Golden Gate Fields. Let's watch that race right now. And this horse just showed good early speed. She was able to relax on the lead, but she pours it on in the stretch to win with a respectable 62 Beyer speed figure. And there is some dirt in this pedigree, Mike. The sire Straight Fire was a good 2-year-old for Keith DeZormo, multiple graded place, never started at 3, but has gotten off to a good start with his dirt progeny. And the second dam was a New York bred that was an open graded stakes winner on dirt.
Yeah, this horse ran fine first time out, had the best speed in that field, got clear of them through the turn, traveling really strongly. You saw her 5-pound bug rider there, keeping her really busy in the stretch, but she was never threatened in that race. I thought she ran well.
Zubashi scored on turf in her second lifetime start, but she ran well in her debut, beaten by Carmen Miranda, who's also in this race. This horse has been very highly regarded by trainer Peter Miller, bet down to less than 2-1 in both of the starts, and has shown big early speed. Maybe this horse adds to the expected fast pace.
I think you are going to see this horse come out of there running. So sort of a lot of speed first time out, had a clear lead all the way in there. And then a very game Carmen Miranda came and caught her right at the end. She took a step forward on turf last time. I have no problem with this horse coming back to dirt, Dan. I think she's going to show speed.
Sally Stanford is the expected time form U.S. pace setter. We'll see if she's able to get to the lead as she steps up out of a $50,000 maiden claiming win. Now, she did show big speed in this race. Just watch as they turn into the stretch. It's already Good Night Irene. She's 7 in front at the quarter pole. She's going to hold on to win as an odds-on favorite, despite swishing her tail a bit obstinately. A big step up in class for Sally Stanford. Doug O'Neill saw enough to claim her for 50.
Yeah, I guess she's interesting off the claim for a very good trainer. I can't say that I love any of her races, Dan. Blew away from these maiden claimers here, not finishing with very much, but the lead was too big. They couldn't catch her. At the end of the day, she didn't really improve that much. It feels like she just found the right field.
We don't see horses turn back in distance that often this time of the year when you're 2-year-olds. Eleuthera, though, made her career debut in a turf rout at Del Mar last month and ran quite well to be second. Now she switches to the main track, turns back in distance. Kind of a synthetic-y pedigree, Mike, but this horse I thought did some sneaky good things on the turf. And if this pace falls apart, I can see her running late.
I agree. I wanted to like her more than I ultimately wound up liking her. I think she's very interesting cutting back and switching surfaces here. Doesn't have a huge pedigree to be a dirt horse, though, Dan. I don't know that she can necessarily afford to really get outrun early in this race.
Carmen Miranda was a debut winner at Los Alamitos in the slower division of Calbred 2-year-old filly maiden specials going 5/8. She then finished behind Rosella in the CTBA. Did you find an excuse for that performance? Flavien Prat takes the mount.
Yeah, I mean, I could give her some kind of excuse. I mean, she didn't break that great in that race. Then she got bumped after that and wound up way back off the pace. She was wide all the way chasing. She never got involved there, so I don't want to make a huge excuse for her, but certainly she had trouble early in the race that could have cost her. I thought her debut was really nice. I like the way that she won that race, going 5 with a horse that just tries to speed pop you and opens a clear lead. A lot of 2-year-olds are never going to win a race like that, but I thought she was very game to get it done. I could give her another chance in here.
I'm expecting improvement from the number 9, Big Novel, who was bet down to 5-2 against Connie Swingle. Big Novel was making her debut on August the 6th. Connie Swingle was going second time out, and Big Novel just didn't break that day and ended up passing several horses in the stretch to get up for second. I think it was an extremely useful debut. The question is for this John Sadler trainee, is this stakes race and only start number 2 too much too soon?
We'll see how much she can improve. She certainly had an excuse in there. She took a little money in that race, got squeezed back at the start, was way out of it. Again, as you mentioned, behind a horse who ran a really fast race. So certainly some excuses for this horse. We'll see, Dan. I mean, I know that she got up for second in there. I didn't see her doing, some huge amount of running through the stretch. But she did have enough trouble at the start that I wouldn't argue with anybody who wanted to give her another chance.
Irish Wahine, even with the blinkers on, should appreciate a quick pace. She came from off the pace to win her debut at Golden Gate Fields at a big price, then ran fourth in the CTBA behind a couple of these. But she has a lot of upside potential, doesn't she? And she might just get the right race flow. I could see her at least getting into the number at a price.
Yeah, I agree. I really liked her debut as well on Synthetic going 5. She didn't break great in that race, then made a couple of different moves. And still had a good finish to close down the leaders in there. So I really liked her debut. Once again, last time didn't break that sharply, hit the gate, got outrun, tried to make up ground all the way around the turn and through the stretch. I thought she ran well. She's got blinkers on this time. She has to get out of the gate. But this filly, I think she has a little bit of potential.
Of the 2 first-time starters, I prefer the 11 Bold Choice going out for trainer Steve Knapp. A daughter of Grazen, the second dam was a stakes-place synthetic sprinter, but the workouts are the most notable thing, 5 and 59 and change on August 11th.
Yeah, the workouts do look pretty good. For a trainer who doesn't have a lot of horses like this, Dan, only 13 2-year-old first-time starters over the last 5 years. None of them won. But it's a very small sample. I don't really want either of the firsters in here, but if I had to take one, I'd take this one.
And last but certainly not least is the expected favorite, the 12 Connie Swingle. Let's watch her dominant second out maiden victory at Del Mar on August the 6th. She tracked the pace outside, she burst to the front, and now she is off to the races. This is a fast race. 78 Beyer, you will see Big Novel eventually grind her way into second, but Connie Swingle was much the best on this day, and it's all about whether she can work out a trip from post 12. Post 12, as you say, no great shakes. She's going to have to use her speed to get position.
Yeah, we'll see if it works against her, because again, if she runs anything like she did last time, I mean, she's just going to beat this field. You know, even her career debut, Dan, where she was very green and a little rank, even in that race, she earned the co-top dirt buyer in the field that day, and then obviously she took a really big step forward last time. I couldn't pick against her. I thought there were some other interesting horses in here. It just feels like she's found the right spot here.
As we throw up our top picks, Mike's already made his case for the 12 Connie Swingle. Carmen Miranda, I know, is a horse he's interested in at a bit of a price. I'm curious to see what we get from the Golden Gate Invader. Stop, drop, and roll. Is she fast enough to make the lead against this field? That's the big question. I'm not sure if she's ready to perhaps sit off of horses and finish, but I like the way she did it. You really see these Golden Gate horses just burst right to the front and take it all the way to them, and she has a little dirt pedigree. 4-12-2-3 for me, 12-8-4-3 for Mike, but Connie Swingle is the horse to beat in Friday's generous portion, the feature race at Del Mar. Good luck.